Aww.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Pretty.
I thought it was sweet. I thought it was a very sweet little picture, and it doesn't spoil anything other than what you'd probably guess from the title of the episode.
Don't you just love when Christmas episodes come out in the summertime?
It's Christmas in July. Duh.
Or
yes,
August.
We're talking about the 16th episode to come out of this season 8, the Hearthswarming Club.
Could you post the picture because I can't actually see it?
No, it's on the channel. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1 second. But yeah, well, you start talking about it while I go grab this.
Yeah, it's funny, when I was watching this episode, it was marked as episode 15, which is weird.
Yeah, the thing got weird with the ordering because they put
because
stuff in...
that's because Matter of Principle was marked as 14 because the other one is marked as 18.
Yeah.
The one before it was marked as 18.
Yeah, okay, so something that's bothering me about this episode, and it's like, it's a play of words and something. The Hearthswarming Club, and I was watching the episodes, they're making fun of the Breakfast Club.
Oh, they were?
Well, not necessarily making fun of it, but referencing it. They needed an... I don't remember Breakfast Club that well. I don't remember if they...
I've actually never seen the movie.
I saw the movie, or at least part of it, like a decade and a half ago, so don't ask me.
Yeah, I don't remember whether they actually... I don't think they were all in trouble for the same thing. I think they were...
They were in trouble for different...
They just happened to all have detention on the same day.
Yeah. I've just seen the trailer.
No, it was, they were in, each one was in trouble for different reasons, and there were different types of, it was basically just an after-school detention or a Saturday detention or whatever.
It was a Saturday morning detention because that's why it was called the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. And so they just, okay, so you're in detention. What are you in here for?
Yeah. It's sort of...
I forgot homework.
Yeah. It's which is kind of almost how they did it. It's like, how did you get here? And except for, and how did you get here? It's, what are you going to do when you leave here?
Mm-hmm. It's not so much how did you get here as
what are you going to do when you get home?
What would you be doing besides at home? Yeah. Which, I mean, they did have that kind of discussion during the Breakfast Club. They talked about, like, their home life and that sort of thing, getting to know each other. It was kind of a boring movie. That's why I only saw part of it.
Anyway. Okay, so, we get the start of, which... If they're going to bring back a song, it's a pretty good song to bring back. Like, Sandbar's trying to sing It's Hearthswarming Eve once again, which I love that song, but, like, he's the only one. But it's nice that it's nice that it sort of flops because none of the other, of the sort of student 6 are ponies, so they don't know the songs. So
yeah, I mean... The changelings just sing carols, 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 carols.
Which is cute.
They're very much literalists with instructions. I guess that comes from having such a dictatorial rule over them for so long. I mean, technically they are still ruled by a monarch, but Thorax is not as aggressive. He's not as much of a despot as she was. So that was nice. So they're going to take the student 6 to the train station when, after the students go to get their stuff, a cloaked figure does something to the tree topper to make it melt down over the tree into a sticky purple goo, which, you know, based on the silhouette, you can pretty much already eliminate Yona. It's like that.
Too tiny.
That's not. Yeah, they're not thick enough. They're not robust enough to be a yak. Yaks are robust and, you know, thick and strong.
And it looked like they had a wing. So.
But yeah, that doesn't really help much considering.
Yes, but that knocks out Sandbar.
Yeah.
Yuck! Smash!
Yeah. Okay, so it couldn't be Yona or Sandbar, but it could be. You know, it could be. You know, theoretically, you know, Gallus, Silverstream, or Oscillus, because she could transform into anybody. You know, and missing one. Oh, Smolder. Smolder, though, it looked like a quadruped, but
Yeah.
she could have just been on all fours at that point.
Yeah, but I don't. That one was like more of a. Yeah, that probably wasn't Smolder.
Yeah, it probably wasn't, but yeah. So it was basically which of those three was it? But they may not have what we could see may not be what they could see. Like all they saw was a cloaked figure in the shadows, so they couldn't really tell what was going on, and they ran off before they really got a good look at him. Anyway, so
Although they did say at the end that they knew who it was to begin with, they were just waiting for a confession.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the cloaked figure runs off into the student quarters where all the non-pony students were packing, but the door was locked. So it was blocked off. You couldn't. It was a locked door mystery sort of thing. But the thing that they didn't take into account now. Technically, I suppose it would make sense that this wasn't true, but you didn't take into account beings that can teleport.
True.
Because, you know, I don't know why Starlight Glimmer would want to do that, but she could have.
Well,
she can teleport.
She
I mean,
didn't
last
even
time
have
they had
to go to the last
time they
time.
had a Hearthstone episode, they made her out to be the villain.
This is true.
But yeah, you're missing out on, you know, Discord and Starlight and anybody who can.
People could have.
What?
I mean, that sounds like his kind of thing.
Just to see the glorious chaos that comes out of it.
Exactly.
Look at all the lovely bonding that came out of it, though. but yeah,
I hate it
if
when
you're
he's right.
assuming that there's no Discord isn't messing around and Starlight isn't doing it, there are very few suspects. It would have to be somebody who knows how to teleport, or, you know, or one of the student 6. Basically, the teleporting spell has been shown to be, you know, somewhat advanced, because I think we've only seen a handful of ponies actually do it, and it's mostly Alicorns plus Starlight and Trixie, though Trixie wasn't very good at it.
Well, Trixie's more of throw down smoke powder and disappear.
No, throwing out smoke powder and then running away.
Yeah. Though she did learn to teleport things and teleported the table.
And make teacups.
But that's not teleporting.
That's transfiguration.
Indeed. But we can also eliminate Spike, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight, who are the only ones there at the same time as the prankster. Rainbow Dash, okay, I already covered that. Rainbow Dash concludes that it had to be one of the students. No one copes to the deed, They will all have to clean up the mess as Twilight questions them one by one. If the guilty party confesses, they will have to take friendship lessons over the break. If no one does, they will all have to stay. Gallus goes for questioning first. Smolder tries to get the guilty party to confess. Unfortunately, the guilty party is not there, but she tries. And we get Scylla telling us that hearthwarming has spread to the changelings, though some of the traditions get a little misinterpreted on the way.
Like literally dive into some punch.
Yes.
Yep. Now, was that just a really big pool of punch, or did they shrink down to do that? Because they could shrink down.
I'm going to say it's probably just a swimming pool of punch.
That is such a weak punch. And I don't even like punch.
Anyway, swimming pools of punch. Singing carols. Building a fire. Literally. A wooden fire.
And lighting it up using like a flashlight, I think it was.
Yeah,
or lightning bugs or fireflies or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Gallus gets out of questioning. Asylas goes in. Yona explains Snildar. They gather things to smash the night before and then smash them the next day.
In the afternoon, we smashed them. And at night, let me guess, you smashed them.
Not all about smashing. So, but then we get a more detailed explanation where there's a certain song that's sung. They find and smash a log in the woods, which, okay, that's smashing, but then they build and smash a snow fort, which is also smashing, and then put perfect things on a moss pile.
And let me guess, you smash it? No, yak not barbarian.
Yes. They like perfect things. Why would they smash things that are perfect? Anyway, so, and apparently last year there's a sort of coming of age thing amongst the acts that Yona's hair was braided for the first time. That's
so sweet.
At this point, Asylas comes back. Sandbar goes in for questioning. And we get dragon lore. So
I like the dragon's idea of Christmas best.
We're just gonna sit around a big fire, tell stories, and whoever tells the best one gets a bunch of gems.
And best ones are about tormenting weaker species.
You're cruel.
It's fun.
Yeah, well, we get the story.
Fun.
Yeah, we get a dream come true. And her name was Scales. She lived alone in the wilderness with nothing to eat. But one night, as she sat alone in a storm, she heard something. It was the Dragon Lord. Scales was scared, but the Dragon Lord told her not to be afraid, that he was taking her to the Dragonlands for a great feast. Scales sat with the Dragon Lord's family and friends and had the best dinner of gemstones she'd ever eaten. Then, while the dragons were telling stories, Scales thought it would be so easy to seize power from the feeble and sensitive Dragon Lord. She saw her chance, took it. She claimed the Bloodstone Scepter and took over the Dragonlands, and forced the Dragon Lord to live out in the cold, just as she used to. That's a horrible story.
It's a beautiful story.
Maybe to you, but dragons like hearing about weak, kind creatures getting defeated.
That is a beautiful story.
If you're a Klingon.
Your eye.
Maybe not Klingons, but... Anyway.
It just warms the heart.
Warms the cockles of the heart.
It does.
Silverstream gets pulled in for questioning. And Sandbar tells his less epic tale.
About the time my doll almost fell in the fire.
Yeah. Just before we went to bed, my mom, my dad, my sister all put our hearth-warming dolls up on the mantle. Just like we do every year. But this year, I put my doll too close to the edge, and it fell. And nothing happened.
It almost fell in the fire.
Yes.
I mean, it fell on the ground, but it could have fell in the fire.
You know, I'm sorry, but Sandbar and I think Shining Armor would be good friends.
Yes.
My
They
voice
both
for them
sound
is the
so
same.
high.
You do.
Oh, and that one mare, I forget her name. Fluttershy's
Tree
friend. Yeah.
Tree hugger. Well, the thing with you know, just for Sandbar's own sake, don't try and compete at the dragon's feast thing. It's not gonna work.
Oh.
So we get the last two one-on-one questions, Smolder and Yona. Meanwhile, Silver Stream regales us with the 3 days of freedom celebration. It was formerly one. Silver Stream will spend the first night in Sequestria, thanking the ocean for protecting us from the Storm King. Sea dancing, whale singing, shell stringing, lots of ings. The second day will be on Mount Eris, with sky dancing and a wind song in the harmonizing heights to celebrate the Storm King's defeat. On the third day, every creature will party together, why don't they just say everybody, on land and sea. Grandparents and parents and sisters, uncles, brothers, acquaintances, neighbors, and cousins. And at the end of the night, Queen Nova is going to give out presents.
That sounds like a great holiday.
Yeah.
We find out Gallus doesn't know what a cousin is.
What's a cousin? Oh,
You have a family.
Yeah. The group start to bicker, but Gallus tells them to let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
No. No. Bad. Bad, Maydrock. Bad. With the Blue Moon Festival, the one time of year when griffins are nice to each other. Well, as nice as they can be. Families get together to eat and then complain about the food and give each other presents they don't like and mostly just try not to yell at each other.
Yeah, that's my family holiday.
Me too.
Although if nobody likes my food, I shove it down their throats.
Well, people like my food, and generally we have a good time, so.
I just don't like dealing with family.
I cook briskets and chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
Well, at least you get to be with your family, and then we find out Gallus doesn't have a family. And we also find out that apparently, at least for the moment, Grandpa Gruff, quotations, Gilda and Gabby are family, along with a little griffin, probably with a G name.
Since they're all G's.
Yes. Gallus doesn't have a family and put goo powder in the fire of friendship topper so that he could have a little longer with the friends that made him feel like he belongs. He eventually confesses because he hates seeing them fighting. So yet again we find a griffin who outwardly is too cool for school but has a nice big fat soft spot. So they decide to stay back to keep Gallus company, and Twilight offers them the chance to be at their table once the mess is cleaned. And that's the episode. So, yes, we get a revelation about Gallus, and we get a boatload of lore about a bunch of different species.
About every creature's Christmas.
It was nice. And we are going to hear another story about the time he almost spilled grape juice.
Oh, yes. It's an epic tale.
Was it depressing?
Something tells me that, yes, he should not be a movie director. And then nothing happens.
I love it. It's like, yes, all your holidays are about family and caring about each other. Although you smolder, I don't know.
Cop. Yeah, and you know, the Sandbars movies would all be like, you know, they would all be that sort of ironic, you know, hipster sort of. It's cool because it flips the film festival sort of things. The ones that would be like 5 minutes, but everybody lauds it for being unconventional. It's like he shows us the tension by showing things not happening, and at the end, the tension is broken by realizing that nothing happened. It shows the sort of everyday nature of life. Just some pompous nonsense that would only fly at a film festival, or film critic with their head up their own butt.
Yeah.
But it was nice to hear, you know.
There needs to be a pony named Sundan.
Did he have a friend named Butch Cassidy?
I was thinking the film festival.
Yeah, I know. I was doubling up over.
Yeah. But yeah, I bet he and Sandbar would be great friends.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was cool seeing the school, you know, in snow and all decked out for housewarming.
It was cute.
And, you know, interesting because it probably saved a bit on. This is probably a good budget saver considering it's the same backgrounds over and over again. You just drop the characters in there. You don't have to make a whole bunch of new backgrounds. You have to make one really nice, you know, exterior shot. But that's it. Everything else is in the interior shot, but it's all happening in basically one room. So it's probably a bit of a budget saver on that.
Kind of like the Doctor Who episode Edge of Destruction, which they made in the very first season because they needed a quick story. So it was 2 episodes long, and the entire story took place in the TARDIS because they were trapped in the TARDIS.
Yeah. It's like,
wasn't that the one where they like grew old?
No. This was a First Doctor episode.
Ah. Okay.
Anyway. But yeah, it was probably a bit of a budget saver, but it was cute and it was nice seeing all the lore. This reminds me, it's a little bit like the Campfire Tales. What?
Oh, I was thinking the one where the apples and the pies made nice.
You mean the apples and the pears?
No, the pies.
Oh.
They went to Hearth warming together.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And they were talking.
Hearthbreakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically that, but
with different creatures.
Yeah, and not as much criticism. Though they did sort of think Smolders was a bit weird, but
I like hers.
Oh, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I just think they probably thought it was a bit strange, given that all of the other ones are like family and love Togetherness.
Ornaments.
It's kind of togetherness, but it's a different kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nice. It was a simple lore-based episode. It was about like the campfire tales where they're talking about Rockhoof and all that.
It was a nice little fluff piece.
And let's see.
And I understand them not doing it during Christmas because they never, during the holiday season, because the series doesn't run during that point.
Yeah, at least not this time around. I mean, they could have a season where they go.
They usually end around like November.
Yeah, and they don't want the season. And the other thing is they don't want the season finale to be
a holiday episode.
Yeah, because the season finale is the
usually
finale. It's something a bit more important than just hey, it's Christmas. It's Pony Christmas.
Yeah, so they're just like, I want to do a Christmas episode. Let's just throw it in somewhere.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the, if they ever, I know it'll probably won't be season 9, won't be stretched across Christmas, but they could do that theoretically. They could stretch it across Christmas, and that they could have one that's right up against Christmas. But yeah, unlikely.
They generally don't.
At least until what?
This is the series is more of a summer series.
Yeah.
Spring through into winter.
Well, I'm just saying.
Most takes place during summer. So.
Theoretically, I'm just saying theoretically, it's possible, but they don't generally do that. But yeah, that would be an interesting way of doing it. Like, yeah, we get holidays out of order all the time. It's like, why is that? Whatever. Stop trying to make the calendar make sense. It's just not worth it. It's like trying to make sense of The Simpsons. Okay, they've had a bunch of Christmases, but they haven't gotten any older. Well,
I
think they got older once, but that was it.
I just generally hate The Simpsons. So.
Blasphemer.
Anyway,
I hate The Simpsons.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Is there anything else we have to say about this episode?
No. It was funny when they hung up the tree, they literally hung it up.
Yes.
Yeah, the literalness of the
changeling.
The changeling. Instructions unclear, hung tree upside down. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't get the Breakfast Club reference until you mentioned it. That was as far as I'm aware.
Alright. Wrap that up there, and each